say she get it from her mama.
Okay. Hello. It's my daughter's birthday. She's 23 today.
LOL, hey y'all, my name is Brianna from The Hair Thread, and I'm back again for to get bought and ready for another wig saw video. So yes, today Abadi turned 23 on November the 29th of 2023. So I was very much excited that I've seen another year, thank God for that, and I'm now getting ready to do my birthday festivities. So I never recorded the process of me doing my bob cap, so this is how I do it, just outlining my hairline with the lace glue and making sure I smooth that in really good so it won't have no clumps in it. Now this is the wig I got very last minute off of Amazon. It did come pre-colored, so I used some L'Oreal color remover for the knots before I plucked it so that the knots could be non-existent. But I wanted to come on here and show y'all my little gifts I got. My mom got me some charms, and I got cards and gift cards and money. I love getting sentimental things, and yeah, don't forget the cash. But I was very happy. Now, as you can see, I try to get as close as possible without cutting myself, and making sure that my wig cap is flush down to my forehead, and making sure I cut off all the excess cap that's not glued down. Then I go in and clean my forehead with some witch hazel and a piece of napkin. I prefer to use witch hazel instead of isopropyl alcohol because it's more hypoallergenic and it don't be too harsh for my skin. I do like my wigs fitting really snug so that the lace can be more blended into my skin, if that makes sense. I feel like the tighter you make your wig, not too tight so it won't be unbearable, but the better the lace will lay and you won't get any of those wrinkles in your lace when you make sure it's snug as well. So when I go in and do my lace glue, I do dot dot, not a lot, and I make sure I smooth it out really good so that it can be a thin layer. And before I go in with my other layers, I make sure that I let it dry clear, and I clean off the rat tail part of my comb as well. Now you want to make sure you're getting any loose hairs out of your glue because you don't want that to dry and be stuck in your glue, because you will be able to see it when you put your lace down into it. And I do that on both sides of my head, one side at a time, so I can make sure it gets smoothed out really good in the thin layers and that it dries clear. And this glue dries pretty fast. I do about 3 to 4 layers. I'm pretty sure I did just 3 layers for this wig install, and it's literally the next week after my birthday, so I still got the wig on, so the 3 layers was good enough for me. I don't really sweat or get oily too bad around my forehead area, so 3 layers is usually enough for me. So after I let my 3 layers dry, I go ahead and press my lace in, and I do that with the spine part of my comb. And then after I use the spine part of my comb, I do really go ahead and get in there with the rat tail part as well, just so I can make sure that the parts of my lace that I need to adhere to the glue is sticking. Now I am using an actual elastic band as my melt band, and I just tie that real tight to the back. If it ain't tight, it ain't right. Your head might be hurting and your ears might be hurting, but as long as it's not like unbearable, give you a headache pain, you will be good, girl. And while my melt band is on, I go ahead and get my part together, because while my lace is melting into the glue, I just like to give it time, like maybe 10 to 15 minutes to really stick. So while I'm doing that, I go ahead and establish my part and flatten out my wig. And I'm actually using one of them back in the day hot combs because I had left the hot comb you plug in the wall up at home. So this thing got hot. Like at one point I had to put a rubber band on it because it kept falling apart, and that it caught on fire, y'all. Maybe I'll insert the clip in here, but it did catch on fire. Like the rubber band caught on fire. I had to hurry up and put the fire out. Like it was crazy, but that thing do get hot. But my install was super flat, so if you want to use one of these, the hot comb you put on the stove, you can go ahead, but you need to know what you're doing. Like you need to let it cool down before you start pressing it on your head. But it was getting my wig super duper flat. Now I do what I did on the other side, on both sides, literally just parting it out in small sections and going in using my wax stick and going behind that with the hot comb and making sure everything is smooth so you won't have no lumps, bumps in your wig. So I always go in and just cut my lace in sections before I razor it off because I just feel like it gives me better control of how I'm cutting the lace off and how close I'm getting to the part that is glued down to my skin. And look at that, it was already given. I was really scared about this lace being that I got it off of Amazon and it's not HD lace because I'm super light skinned, but the transparent lace was pretty good for a few days and then it did get darker over time, and I feel like that's because I did get my makeup done. So in between me wearing it for the week I've had it on, I did have to clean it off and just remelt it with some melting spray. But right here, the initial meltdown before even doing the melting spray with just the glue I used, it was really giving, and I was really shocked by that. But I was hoping that it wouldn't give me a hard time, and it didn't. And I always just go in to see if it's parts of the lace that didn't stick that I cut off and that's coming up, and I just put some of the lace glue on my hand and use my rat tail comb to smear it under the parts that didn't stick all the way. And I let it dry. I probably do like 2 layers under the parts, and I just go ahead and stick it down with the comb. Then after I do that, of course, I'm going in with my melt spray and a napkin. The napkin is used just to make sure that it don't run down my forehead, and it really just absorbs any of the extra melt spray that doesn't really absorb into the lace, so that it won't just be sitting there getting sticky around the lace and on your forehead, because then that's when you get the white residue and stuff like that. Now I do blow dry it on the cool setting for like 5 to 10 seconds before I go in and put my melt pen back on, just so that it won't dry to the melt pen, and then once you take the melt pen off, some of your lace can come up. Now before I go in and straighten it, I am just wearing it straight, no curls, no nothing. I do go in with some silk serum so it can be silky straight. And for the girls that don't know how to straighten, I literally just chase the comb with the flat iron. So I did this a few times just to show y'all. Put the comb right there and then chase it down with the flat iron. And you're gonna need to use both of your hands to do this. And as you can see, it really did get silky straight. And to this day, of me still having it on, like a week later, the hair is still silky straight. So I even just slowed it down on the other side of my head to show y'all how I straighten it. Put the comb in there, hold it with the opposite hand, and go with the flat iron. Just chase it all the way down. Y'all, it literally just be so much pressure relief from that melt pen. Like, but look at that. That looks good. I was so pleased with how this came out with the no baby hair look. So now I'm going in with my concealers to just put that on my lace because it was still a little bit dark. Like I said, super light skin, and usually this is why I prefer to use HD lace, but everything was super last minute. Like, my wig wasn't gonna come in time for my vendor, so I had to find something quick. I did find this wig on TikTok. Everybody was saying good things about it, so I'm like, okay, let me just go ahead and order this off Amazon. And it did come within 2 to 3 days. I got it off of Prom. I feel like it was supposed to come in 2 days, but it ended up coming in 3. I wanted to wear this wig for my photo shoot, but it literally came the day of my photo shoot, and I was kind of upset about that. But it is holiday season, so I had to make it do what it do. But as you can see, me putting the concealer on there did help it a lot. And I just went ahead with some eyeshadow to clean up my the parts that I did over bleach it. Well, I use color remover for the knots on here, so the parts that it just got overly removed on my part, I did use some eyeshadow to cover that because I didn't have no spray that color, and I didn't have no root touch up that color either. And I just sprayed it once I got to be glue spray to set that in, and hot combed it down, and it looked good. Like, the eyeshadow did what it needed to do. Now I'm going in with that same color concealer I used for touching up of the lace around the perimeter, and I'm using that exact same color to do my part. And y'all, do not forget to do y'all part. Like, this is what makes it a bust down, the part being sharp and clean. And then I just put my comb down the center and went back in with some more eyeshadow to clean it up even more around the part. Now this is literally my favorite product. Literally, I love how it smells, and it really just does what it needs to do for the finishing touches, making sure I get all my flyaways smoothed out, because sometimes wigs at the top be having a lot of flyaways, which I've noticed. So that's what I use to kind of control that. And I did want a little sideburn piece. I don't think I did this on both sides. I ended up adding another one after the video on the other side, but in the video I didn't. But just for styling purposes, I did go ahead and swoop that part behind my ears just so I could show y'all how bad this no edge look ate. I really did enjoy this hair. It's been about a week and I still got it on. It is still silky straight how it is in the video, and the lace is still doing what it needs to do. The wig is 28 inches long all the way down to my booty crack, and it's 13 by 6, so a full frontal. Did get this wig off Amazon, so if y'all want the details, comment below. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned. Bye.